Welcome back. And it's finally happened. I would like to congratulate the Florida Panthers on finally getting out of the first round. It's been just such a long time. 1996, and thinking back to the '96 playoffs, the Stanley Cup Finals, and where my life was at then. Um, yeah, that was a long time ago. So, in all likelihood, there'll probably be a video tomorrow on that. Just probably something kind of fun and lighthearted on Florida's long drought and trying to make it something entertaining now that the drought is over. So if you're a Florida fan, you don't have to hear any more questions about 1996, other than the Stanley Cup Final run and the Rats and all that. So it's Bobrovsky versus Samsonov in this one. I was a little bit surprised it wasn't Vanacek, but honestly, Samsonov isn't the reason they lost the last game. Early hold by Samsonov. Mantha has a rush that's defended. Orlov fires one wide. The Panthers cleared. Sherry then has a net feed that was held. Ekblad not on the bench since a hit from Ovechkin either at this point in the game. Lomberg stirring things up. He's put in the lineup tonight, and he did what was expected of him and what was hoped that he would do. A lot of stirring things up on whistles and trying to knock Washington off their game. Mantha has a wraparound that was saved. The shots are 4-3 for the Capitals at 6.5 minutes. Things get pushy after a bump on Bobrovsky. Hathaway's involved, but he was pushed in, so it's not that Hathaway intentionally ran him or anything. Panthers press at 8 minutes. Oshie ices it. Mammon then had a rush chance that was held. Dowd's denied on a turnover, and Huberdeau has a rush that is defended. So Huberdeau prominent in this game as well. His next chance drew a power play. Giroux has a net feed that's blocked and cleared. Shorthanded Eller rush finishes the kill. With 6:03 left, Washington gets a power play. Oshie's denied. Kuznetsov can't bury one. That's killed off. Johansson then's denied. The Panthers rush. Sherratt gets shaken up on a hit from Hathaway and he exits. So at this point in the first period, Florida's down to 4 defensemen. No Ekblad, no Sherratt. Sherratt, of course, they paid a big price for at the deadline, and Ekblad's their star defenseman. So that's tough. Bennett then fires wide on a rush. And coming out of that first period, there was some debate about how is Florida going to do this with 4 defensemen. The good news, if you're a Panthers fan, is you didn't have to worry about it, because second period, both Ekblad and Sherratt were back. Sherry has a fast break that won't go, and then there's a net crash after that. The Panthers press the next shift. Hornquist has a rush that's saved. And then, burying his own rebound, is Nick Dowd. He opens the scoring for Washington from Hathaway at 3:44. And then the Caps press at 4 minutes, so they don't stop looking for another goal. Huberdeau had a rush that was kicked aside, but then it's Lomberg. Yes, Lomberg back into the game. He scores from Hornquist and Lusterinen at 6:13. I thought that the depth guys for Florida made a big difference tonight. It was a rush opportunity, and the rebounds buried by Lomberg. Huberdeau then steals one, and then he takes a hit right after that. Shots are even at 6 apiece at 7.5 minutes. Honestly, the shots were even through a lot of this game. And there's some pushing and shoving that's ramping up at this point, too. Caps end up getting a power play. Ovechkin has a chance. That's blocked. The Panthers do kill it off. Giroux has a sharp angle shot then that gives Samsonov some trouble, and we get some shoving after when he does freeze the puck. Ekblad has a rush that's defended. Panthers press. That draws them the power play with 4:36 left. Barkov fires one wide. Good cycle on that. Barkov then had a shot that was blocked after that. That's killed off. Lomberg has a shot on a rush that was held. Hathaway then had one that deflects wide in the final minute. And there, in the closing seconds, a couple seconds left in the period, there's a quick whistle when the puck's at the Panthers' net, and it looked like Bobrovsky had it. He didn't. So that whistle prevents Washington potentially getting a goal there and going ahead before the start of the third period. So we go to the third period with this game tied at 1. Backstrom, make sure it doesn't stay tied. And honestly, it's a deflection. Bobrovsky just doesn't have the puck. Schultz and Van Riemsdyk with the assists at 1:37. And with that, I thought, okay, so Washington's probably going to win this. I know that Florida's the king of the comeback, but this is desperate hockey. This is Washington playing like a team that wants to stay and play a game 7. So the Panthers then pressed for an answer. There was a net feed to Kuznetsov, near miss on that. Caps breaking up transition chances. I've talked about this throughout the series, how the transition game was having some problems for Florida. That is a big part of what drives their offense. And the Caps to this point are definitely getting into their heads with this. Caps get a power play. It was their third, but an aggressive penalty kill by Florida, who know they can't allow another one. There's a shorthanded Luostarinen chance that's broken up. That's killed off. And then Barkov on that same shift when they get back to 5-on-5. He goes beast mode. Doesn't bury there, but he tried. Shots are 4-2 for the Caps at 6.5 minutes. Hornquist had a rush chance. That was saved. And then Giroux ties the game from Ekblad and Verhaeghe at 8:18. Verhaeghe's had a monster first round. It's buried on a fast break, and it's 5-hole. Backstrom was then denied in close as Washington tries to answer. Ekblad has a shot that's blocked. Forsling blasts one wide. Dowd ends up hitting the post, and the Panthers rush the other way. They got a good press out of that as well, and they would score. At 14-17, Barkov puts them in the lead from Giroux and Weegar. Great pass by Giroux to see Barkov there, and Barkov puts it in. The Caps, though, they press with 3.5 minutes left. They were kept to the outside during that press. The goalie gets pulled with 2:20 left, and then the Caps go offside, so he has to go back in, and then they get him back out on the next play. Mantha fires one high with 1:42 left. The Panthers guilty of icing. Ovechkin then has a shot that's blocked, but with 1:09 left, it becomes a 6-on-4. And the Caps call a timeout because this is your season. It's a 6-on-4. The Florida announcers, because for this game I was watching the Florida announcers. I like the Florida announcers. They do talk up the Preds a lot, but hey, I mean, they won the President's Trophy. Why not talk them up? So they weren't happy with the call that led to the 6-on-4. They were not in agreement on that call at all. But it ends up costing Florida as well, because at 18:57, TJ Oshie scores his, I think it's his 6th of the playoffs, from Mantha and Kuznetsov. And on the goal, there's some pushing and shoving after. So Florida took exception to that. A review confirms it's a good goal. It wasn't the prettiest goal you're going to see, but it's a goal. Strong finish for the Caps. Ovechkin tries for a buzzer beater. That was held. We're going to overtime. Overtime doesn't last that long. Now, the early control is for the Caps. Hathaway has a wraparound. That won't go. And then Verhaeghe. Good press by Florida leads to Verhaeghe getting the goal that ends the pain for Florida fans from Giroux and Sherratt. It's the first series win in 26 years. They wore this jersey. Not this exact, but you know what I mean. This is what they were wearing the last time they won a round. It was 1996. It was when people were starting to worry about Y2K. 4-3 win in overtime for Florida. They win the series 4-2. They will now await the winner of Game 7 tomorrow between Toronto and Tampa. So we may get a Battle of Florida. We may get Toronto and Florida. Either way, I think that's a winning series. We saw Toronto and Florida games that were just bonkers during the regular season. I would expect some more bonkers play in the postseason. And if it's a Battle of Florida, I would expect a lot of punching mixed with some goals. Your 3 stars in this game: Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Oshie. Your shots: 13-8 Capitals in the first, 14-9 Panthers in the second, 13-7 Capitals in the third, as they played that desperate hockey, knowing their playoff lives were on the line. In the overtime, both teams had 2 shots. Final shots are 37-31 for the Caps. Power plays: Florida 0 for 2, Washington 1 for 4. The hits: 51-50 for the Capitals. A lot of hitting. Bobrovsky saves 34 out of 37. Samsonov saves 27 out of 31. So for the Caps, they're stuck now looking at next year. There's going to be some questions about how things are going to work next year. Has the window closed for the Caps? I look forward to that headline a lot this summer. Maybe at some point, once we get further into the playoffs, I can look at some of the veteran teams like Boston, Pittsburgh, Washington, and we can have that discussion about whether or not windows have closed for these teams and all that other fun stuff. But it was a fun series. The Caps did their best, but the Panthers are pretty darn good. And so they avoid the President's Trophy curse. Remember, they were down 2-1, and there were people already saying, "Hey, look at this, it's the curse, and Caps are going to move on, and Panthers aren't that good." There was even the Steve Dangle podcast had a video posted where the title was, "Are the Panthers frauds?" Spoiler alert, as soon as I saw that title, I said, no. no, they're not. And that was when they were down 2-1 against Florida. So, yeah, or no, that was when they were down 1-0. Like, yeah, it happens quickly, doesn't it? So there you go. If you're a Florida fan, feels pretty good, doesn't it? Enjoy that for a few days. And then the next round gets started. So Toronto or Tampa. So if you're a Florida fan, who would you rather face? The Maple Leafs or Tampa? And does the fact that Florida's long drought is finally over, does that mean Toronto's might be over next? We'll find out tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.